Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we will be talking about the new Atlanta Falcons head coach, that is Arthur Smith. For the past 2 years, the former offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, and really why Derrick Henry and the offense was working really, really well. Now, like I said, Arthur Smith was, for the past 2 seasons, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, but that he's been with Tennessee since 2011. He served as the offensive quality control coach, the offensive line assistant coach, and then the tight ends coach. Now, what did Arthur Smith and this Tennessee offense do in the 2020 season before we get into my opinion about what I think about this hire? In the 2020 season, the Titans ranked 4th in scoring, average of 30.7 per game, which was 4th in the NFL, which was pretty amazing. Their rushing game posted 168 yards per game, which was 2nd in the NFL, only behind the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry rushed for 2,027 yards, which was the 5th best ever in a season for rushing yards. And both receivers, only one Falcons receiver had over 1,000 yards because Julio Jones was injured. But both receivers for the Titans had over 1,000 receiving yards. Now, along with Arthur Smith, Dave Ragone is the favorite right now to be the offensive coordinator. He worked with Smith while he was in Tennessee for, I think it was like last season. So this is going to be very interesting to see when it comes to offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, I would honestly say I would probably hope, what's his name? I forgot his name. Raheem Morris stays as the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. And speaking of also Derrick Henry, if you guys know, there's an Alabama running back that's declared for the NFL draft, and he could possibly go 2nd round. And if he goes early 2nd round, that lines up the possibility for the Falcons to possibly get him in that 2nd round. And the guy I'm talking about is Najee Harris. So that's going to be very interesting to see when it comes to the Falcons season. But in terms of this hire, it's really interesting because the Falcons usually stay away from offensive coaches because their offense is really stacked. I mean, the weapons they had this year were technically set. You have Julio Jones, you have Calvin Ridley, you have Russell Gage, who's turning out to be a very good slot wide receiver. You had Zacchaeus, who could be a very good wide receiver. Running back, you had Ito Smith, who has potential. Todd Gurley, who was disappointing this season. And then you have Matt Ryan under center. So the offensive weapons were completely stacked for the Atlanta Falcons. So I can understand why the Atlanta Falcons have not turned to an offensive coach in the past couple years. But after having 2 defensive coaches in the past, the past 2 coaches were both defensive coaches. In I don't even remember the first guy. Who was it? I don't even remember his name. But Dan Quinn and the guy before that, I think it was Mike Smith or something like that. They've both been defensive coaches. So now, with this offensive weapon, the offense the Falcons has, and now we have an offensive coach. Oh my God! I can only imagine if the Falcons had been possibly able to get Kyle Shanahan back as the Atlanta Falcons coach. That offense! I'd be scared if we had Kyle Shanahan as the coach. I would have been scared of the Atlanta Falcons offense, but with Arthur Smith as the Falcons coach, I expect one thing to be better when it comes to the Falcons season, and that is going to be the rushing game. Considering the fact that in the past 2 seasons, Derrick Henry has really outperformed and been possibly the best running back in the NFL, and Arthur Smith has been the offensive coordinator for how many seasons? The past 2 seasons, and it just so happens the past 2 seasons, Derrick Henry has been possibly the best running back in the NFL. I think Arthur Smith has a big part to do with that, considering his offensive coordinators. He calls a lot of the offensive plays, so he calls a lot of the rushing games. And of course, for the past 2 seasons, he's had an experienced quarterback in Matt Ryan to call plays for as the offensive coordinator, and he's going to have Matt Ryan there. What this means also is that the Falcons probably will not be drafting a quarterback. I feel like, really, Arthur Smith is going to look at this offense and think, if Ryan Tannehill was still kind of doing well at 31, 32 years of age, he could get at least 2 years out of Matt Ryan or at least a year out of Matt Ryan before we need to draft a quarterback. And that means we'll be focusing more on the defense, which means I think the Falcons will actually be trading back to get more picks in order to help out with the defensive offense, the defensive help. Because even though some people have said the defensive front played better than the offense, you still see a lot of people saying the Falcons' defense is the reason why they don't win games. The Falcons' defense is the reason why we did not win a lot of these games that we should have won this season, because we could not keep the lead. The offense was scoring and helping us trying to win this game, but it was the defense that could not help us stay in this and help us win these games. That's why I'm saying the Falcons need to draft defense. I know Matt Ryan doesn't have that many years left, and Arthur Blank has said that Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are available to be traded, but I don't really think that's going to happen, because I still think they have a decent amount of years left before, the Falcons probably get rid of him. I think Matt Ryan has at least a year or two before the Falcons should actually draft a quarterback, because I feel Matt Ryan's still a top quarterback in the NFL. So I don't really understand why people are saying the Falcons should really draft. I guess it's because the Falcons have such a high draft pick that the last time the Falcons had a top 5 draft pick, they selected a quarterback who happened to be Matt Ryan. And ever since then, the Falcons haven't really had a top 10 pick. I think the closest they had was Julio Jones, and Julio Jones won pick 11 in the 2011 draft. So, even then, Julio Jones is Julio Jones is actually in the top 10. The Falcons trade up to get Julio Jones. So there you go. So that's why I don't really think the Falcons will be selecting at least a quarterback with the 4th round pick. I feel like the Falcons will probably be trading back to get more picks to help out Arthur Smith build this team and help this defense get better, because the defense does get better. I mean, safety, we have Keanu O'Neal is probably our best safety. Linebacker, we have Deion Jones and Okuwan, who are probably our best 2 linebackers. Defensive line, we have Marlon Davidson, who was a rookie this past season. We have Grady Jarrett, of course, who I think is obviously definitely our best defensive lineman. We had Dante Fowler Jr., who was in his first season with Falcons, I think played really, really okay. So the defensive line, I'd probably say doesn't need work. I would probably say the problem position for right now probably is linebacker or cornerbacks, because I don't really think AJ Terrell had a very good season for the Atlanta Falcons, even though he missed the first game. So yeah, I'd probably say linebacker, cornerback is where the Falcons are going to need to go in the draft. But in my honest opinion, when it comes to the Falcons head coach of Arthur Smith now, I'm just really, really interested to see the way the 2021 season, how the offense performs, because if this offense just goes out and just kills everyone and just it leads the league, it's top 5 in the league, then this was obviously a good hire. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications so you know my videos go live. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.